Hello. Hello. Good evening, all. Am I audible? Can anyone write in the chat box if I'm audible? Yeah, it's perfectly audible, right? So, welcome, one and all, to this session. These are some of the rules. This is an open session. We have received few of the queries from our participants, and we will be taking them at the end of the session. As said, 20 minutes we'll be having a general discussion. Thereafter, we will be moving with your questions. कुछ छोटी छोटी अच्छी बातें. This is a new initiative where we will be having few short discussions. I won't be speaking any big thing, only choti choti, small things, and अच्छी बातें, of course, from Ayurveda. Myself, Vaidya Dr. Jayesh Thakkar, MA BMS, that is Ayurvedacharya. We will be having word description as an introduction to terminology. Vaidya is the term we use for an Ayurvedic doctor. Doctor is a recognized degree. BMS, that is Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, which is also called as Ayurvedacharya. Right? Those who practice Ayurveda and are recognized by government are having minimum of BMS degree. And those BMS degree holders are only Ayurvedic doctor. So, first of all, I wish you all good health and happiness. Ayush Kamya. Ayush is something we relate with life. Kamya is desire. So, this is the first lesson of Ayurveda. You all are enthusiastic and interested to know about Ayurveda and beyond. First of all, homage to Dhanvantari and Ashwini Kumars. Dhanvantari is the god of Ayurveda, or we can say pioneer of Ayurveda, and Ashwini Kumars are the divine physicians. I am grateful to all my gurus and teachers and all of you to be part of here. As we know, we'll be speaking about Ayurveda and something differently. Ayurveda is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma is not religion, it's actually something which we have to do, something which is right, that is Dharma. Any right activity, waking up early in the morning, having good food, that all becomes part of Dharma. And Artha is not only money, it's any object we require. We require good clothes to wear, we require medicines, and all this will come under Artha. Kama is desire. Unless and until we have desire, I know most of you have joined to know how to stay healthy. So this desire itself is Ayush Kamya. If we have this desire, we can move to the next stage and we can know more of life. Ayurveda is something not about Sarir or body. It involves Mana, mind, and the Atma. Right? How is all this related? That is only we are here to discuss today. So a parichay, an introduction. This is the first thing. Whenever anything we want to know, we would like to know what is the introduction. If someone says, come, let's go to travel, let's go to that place, we'll ask about the place, how much far it is, what is new about that area, what we'll be doing there. So, a parichay of Ayurveda is the first thing we need to know, an introduction. If we know it, we can move with the other parts. As we know, Ayurveda Day just we have celebrated on Dhanteras, that is Dhanvantari Jayanti, right? Our culture, particularly Indian culture, celebrates on Dhanteras, the 2 days before Diwali, that is the 13th day, so it is called as Teras. So that day is something we need to celebrate with Dhanvantari and Dhanlaxmi. that are considered as the form of Vishnu and Lakshmi. If we not look at the other aspect, if we look, it's health and wealth. In fact, whatever the science, whatever the language, this is the two things, health and wealth, which we worship. Health and wealth, without it, we are nothing. And we cannot forget that we should not worship only wealth, we should also worship health, which is the real wealth. So this year, do you know what is the theme of Dhanvantari Jayanti or the Ayurveda Day of 2021? Anybody, if knowing, can write in the chat box. What is the theme of this year's Ayurveda Day? Anybody? I think people are joining us in between. So we continue. It is Posan, nutrition, right? So this year, every year, United Nations or a particular organization celebrates a day. So Ayurveda Day is celebrated by Ministry of Ayush. That is Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, right? So this sister sciences, the Ayurveda Day being celebrated by Ministry, this year the theme have been Posan or Ayurveda nutrition. And what is the main principle of Ayurveda? अगर एक ही शब्द में मुझे कहना है कि मैं क्या डिस्कस करूंगा, किस चीज को लेके आज बात करने वाला हूं, वो है बैलेंस. अपने को बैलेंस करना है. आयुर्वेद में क्या है? अगर हमें ठंड लग रहा है तो आई हैव टू बैलेंस इट टू द नॉर्मल सिचुएशंस. इफ आई एम फीलिंग टू मच ऑफ थर्स्टी, I give medicines to balance that extra thirst. If someone is having too much of loose motion, we give medicines to balance that situation. So balance is the main principle which we have to keep in the mind as we go forward with our discussion. And remember, Ayurveda is way of living, something more than medicine, not just medicine. We have to discuss two things, the basic preventive care and the treatment, right? So these are some of the words which we come whenever someone points out Ayurveda. अगर आयुर्वेद सुनने में आता है तो बहुत कुछ अपने आंख के सामने आ जाता है. वो वात पित्त कफ हो या नाड़ी परीक्षा हो, अग्नि हो, आम, च्यवनप्राश, मेटल टॉक्सिसिटी, पंचकर्म, गौमूत्र, एलोवेरा. Just try to imagine when the word Ayurveda comes before you, how many words or how many things just rotates before your eyes and comes in your mind. I have tried to write down few of the things on the screen before you, right? Isn't it? So I'll be having a short introduction to each of the topic. This will be a brief introduction. Unless and until we know the basic principle of any science, we cannot go deep into it. To understand the basic principles, we have to understand a bit of it. The first terminology which comes in our mind is dosa, पंचमहाभूत, वात, पित्त, कफ. आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ये सब जान के मुझे क्या करना है. मैं ये इसलिए बता रहा हूं कि आपको और भी इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगा और आप कैसे ये साइंस के इंपॉर्टेंस अपने लाइफ में अप्लाई कर सकते हो. सो वात, पित्त, कफ, दिस आर जस्ट ए रिप्रेजेंटेशन. ट्राई टू फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग यू नो. अभी तक आपने आयुर्वेद के बारे में जो भी सुना है, जो भी जानते हैं, फॉर फ्यू मिनट्स, फॉर द नेक्स्ट 15 मिनट्स, आई हैव ऑलरेडी टेकन 5 minutes plus of yours. For the next 15 minutes, just forget it. Just try to, few of the points only I will discuss that you keep in mind. The dosa Panch Mahabhut, what is it? You know, everything has a basic existence. The ancient Indian science only considers there are 5 things, 5 elemental basics of ours, and they are the 5 elements. You know, we are representing it as Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, and they are being written as earth, ether, air, fire. Actually, these are not the exact description. And when we say Mahabhut, we are not representing the sky or earth also. We are in fact correlating it. It's just something. Mahabhut is something at the nanoatomic size, which is at the basic level we are comparing. So everything we are seeing around, they have got this basic constructive elements. As the quantum physics is being learned, it is being found that how true are these principles of ancient Indian science, right? And the comparison have only been said as Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So when we say Vata, Pitta and Kapha, there is just a combination of the elements, the Panch Mahabhut. This is what we keep a note, right? The Dhatu is the seven Dhatus which our body is formed, the tissue level we can say, the Mala, the toxins in our body we can say which is needed to be taken out. Ayurveda gives importance to that. Your urine, your stool, your the sweat and all these are giving importance because the balance of it. Say for example, if someone is having too much of toilet or less of urine or less of stool, that is also a disease condition. So the science is going deeper. Prakriti is also something we always talk about, right? Prakriti is something we hear of. Now, if you want to know a Prakriti type, we have different Prakritis. Some are by birth thin and lean. Some are by birth obese. They say that मैं कुछ नहीं खाता हूँ फिर भी मेरा वजन बढ़ता है. Some are having curly hair. Some are having shiny hair. Some are having small hairs. So this is what is our Prakriti. Now the question comes, how is this constitution comes? Again, it's from the basic elements. And the factors which decide our Prakriti, it's during the birth, when the sperm and the ovum and the first cell of our life begins. It is then what is the mother having in the diet, what is the season of conception, what is the quality around the environment, and all this is something which is deciding our Prakriti. Our Prakriti is something we get by birth, right? Some people have cold tendency, and if they start having too much of cold or they go to a cold place, they catch easily the cold, and this having disease condition is Vikruti. Nidan is diagnosis. Nadi Pariksha is just one form of diagnosis. There are so many ways of to diagnose, not just Nadi Pariksha. So next time when you go to a Ayurvedic doctor, sir मेरी नाड़ी पकड़ के बोलिए ना क्या है, this should not be. An Ayurvedic doctor needs to know everything, something beyond Nadi. And you are Sarir, Man and Atma. We have a mind, right? We know when the everything is fine, our vitals, BP and everything is fine, pulse is fine, but if the stool is not regular, we don't feel happy. If someone has scolded us, someone is angry on us, किसी ने हम पे गुस्सा किया है, हमारा मन अच्छा नहीं है, तो भी हमें healthy feel नहीं होता है. So Ayurveda considers Sarir and Man the definite role. When the term Ayurveda comes, yoga is something we relate with it because yoga and Ayurveda are coming from the same science, same ancient Indian science, and they are considered as sister science. Roga and Rogi. Roga is the disease, Rogi is the person who is suffering. Now, all these are from Sanskrit word, the basic terminology. If I want to learn a new language, say for example, I want to learn Russian, then I need to know the grammar, right? We have people in India who go to study in Russia and other countries for MBBS or for other sciences and other professions, jobs, and all this. Don't you think they need to know their language? Yes, they need to know. So, as an Ayurveda student, or as an Ayurveda knower, or as an Ayurveda lover, we need to know some basics of Ayurveda that will make things easy. That is why I am taking few minutes of yours for this discussion. Sanskrit have been the basic language. The three pillars of life is said Ahar, Nidra, Brahmacharya. Ahar is food. And remember the theme of this year's Ayurveda Day is Posan, nutrition. Such an important role that diet plays. If you don't have proper diet, the medicines an Ayurvedic doctor prescribes will not be giving the result. Nidra is the sleep, the proper quantity of sleep we need. If we don't have sleep proper, if we don't have proper rest, we are not fresh to do our work. We are not healthy. And the term brahmacharya, it's our short-sightedness that we compared it to abstaining or something a control. But brahmacharya is Brahma's achar. If we try to understand the language, it becomes easy. Brahma is the good, and achar is something we follow. So anything good which we follow in our life, that is brahmacharya. All the good rules which are written in the texts of Ayurveda. Do you know what are the three important texts of Ayurveda? They are Charak Samhita, Susut Samhita, and the Ashtanga. And all these texts starts not with medicine, they start with some good rules. And these rules are matching with nature, something related with nature. And when it's related with nature, you stay healthy. Have you seen a bird or an animal going to hospital or getting falling ill as frequently as us? No, because they follow the rules of nature. Pathya and apatya is something you also find in a doctor's prescription. In my prescription also I write down certain disease condition, what you have to have and what not to have. And remember, disease in Ayurveda is sadhya or asadhya, that is treatable and non-treatable. So it's not always that Ayurveda is magic. You go to you go to an Ayurvedic doctor with a cancer or last stage and say that make it curable. It's not something like that. In fact, Ayurveda should be the first choice. When we have any minor conditions, we should visit an Ayurveda doctor. We should see if it's treatable by Ayurveda. If not, then we can go to the other pathy. In Ayurveda, Agni is given importance. Agni is something which is your digestive fire. The Ama is the toxin which we get if there is undigested. Remember your last visit or whenever you next visit an Ayurvedic doctor, he will surely like to see your tongue. The coating tongue itself represents arm, and that is one of the major reasons of disease in Ayurveda. And the Ayurvedic medicine is not just ghee, gaumutra, aloe vera or amla and giloy. There are thousands and thousands of herbs and medicines. And the pharmacology is something not even understood by modern pharmacology. That's why sometimes you hear people saying that Chyawanprash is not allowed in European nation because that science has still not able to understand what is in it. And we have to make things clear. Churnas, why powder medicines are prescribed by an Ayurvedic doctor? You know, churna is something very minute form. And do you think that it requires more time to digest than a solid thing? Definitely not. When you take a chapati or when you are taking any vegetable or fruit, you need to chew it. And the whole thing goes through a cycle of digestion. But when it is in the churna form, it's in the minutest form, easily absorbed and gives result. That's why Ayurvedic medicine includes churna, the powder combination. Chyawanprash is an important medicine. And remember, Chyawanprash, here also in Ayurvedic medicines, the terminology and the name is after the main composition or after someone who it has been planned for someone. Like it was for Chavan Rishi, the Ashwini Kumars, the first physicians have formulated this Chyawanprash. It has got lots of herbs in it, and the preparation itself is and something we know it's used for cold and cough and immunity. Nowadays, it's one of the first thing you get in a Google search, right? So Chyawanprash is more than something for immunity. It's used in respiratory system. We also use it for all the dhatus, all the tissue level. We as a treatment. You know, in my osteoarthritis patients who have got arthritis, I also prescribe Chyawanprash after a stage of treatment. The first stage of treatment is definitely not Rasayan or Chyawanprash. The first stage of treatment is stage by stage. There is a protocol in Ayurveda, and if it is followed, a patient definitely gets good result. And this is the thing which is highlighted: metal, liver toxicity, kidney, and all this. This is something the other pathy doctors who are not aware of Ayurveda will also say. Something which you don't know, you cannot comment. I don't know too much of geography or economics, so I am not going to speak on it. I know Ayurveda, so I'll be speak on Ayurveda. You know, Ayurveda and Ayurveda, yoga and yoga, actually this happens when it comes back from the foreign nation, and that is what happening. We are respecting it more when it is coming back to us. So this metal and liver something, when you hear other pathy people saying about it, for a second, go to the expert and get the clarity. Try to understand. Someone who don't know, I don't know to read Tamil. If you get me a Tamil book and say that read it out, I cannot read. Or say you don't know to read Japanese and I give you a Japanese book. Will you understand? Never. So this metal toxicity and all these things is something you hear from those who are not knowing. It's something like that, Angur khatte hai. The one who cannot understand is easy to comment that grapes are sour. But one who understands, then only the things are clear. Ayurveda never uses any free metals in its composition. Ayurveda has always used metal in certain combined form. And we use metal. Our body is made of metal. For a minute, think the iron in the hemoglobin, right? It's a metal. The calcium phosphorus in your bones and your teeth, they are metals. They are metal minerals, right? Even the leaf, the chlorophyll compound, if you see, it has got manganese in it. So we are surrounded by metal minerals. Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. What is outside, that is inside. Our body, recently research also proved the Gomutra has got swarna or gold in it. So the metal minerals, we are surrounded by it. The form is important. Carbon is toxic. Carbon in carbon dioxide is again toxic, but carbon in C6H12O6, the glucose, carbon there is never toxic, that we take, right? Similarly, oxygen. Oxygen is good, we all know it, but oxygen as ozone or oxygen in CO2, carbon dioxide, that is not good. The combination matters. So when Ayurveda uses metal, it's never using it as free mercury or free metal. It's used in a combination with certain other herbs and minerals. So it's safer provided it is made in the right way as mentioned in the Ayurvedic text, and quality if it's mentioned, the Ayurveda medicines are never toxic. Next is the big thing you heard about, Panchkarma Sirodhara, right? We all know of it, is it? I think everyone would have heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, you can mention in the chat box. So Panchakarma, again go to the terminology. Pancha means 5 and Karma is the therapy. So this is the unique contribution of Ayurveda, that when the medicines or when we cannot treat something with only medicines, we go with the therapy. And these therapies are used for something called purification. Now, how to explain you? Very simply, we all have got two-wheeler or four-wheeler. We go for its servicing, isn't it? Though we regularly fill up the tank with petrol or diesel, but 6 monthly or 4 months we have to go for its service. Why? Just for giving it a rest and cleansing. So the Panchkarma therapy is actually when we are filled with toxics, we are every day filled with the pollutions and the bad things around. And when the disease is not just curable with the medicines, we need to go with the therapies and the Ayurvedic unique process, that is Panchkarma. Say for example, the basin is fully blocked with the your water basin is filled with all the dust and jam. The pipe is jam. So do you think just putting a stick in it will clean it? No. You need to open it and make it a full cleansing process. So when the things are not treatable by medicine, that is when we go with the Sodhan therapy. Sirodhara is just a one part of the big Panchkarma therapy, and this is something which is used for multi-purpose. It's used for insomnia. We have got wonderful result. You can check out in Google and the search engine. You can know lots of things about it. But one important thing, always have Panchkarma, Sirodhara, Ayurveda from someone who is registered, at least BMS registered, right? So these were some of the words. There are other words also. You can write down in the chat box and we will be discussing in our discussion round. So know natural, try to know what is natural around, and we have, if we follow the natural rules, we are healthy. This was something we had a look, and we are again looking at the Prakriti, and this were the factors which decides our Prakriti, right? So the first thing in Ayurveda is preventive. Swasthasya swastharakshanam. Again the basic line of the mother language Sanskrit. So first principle of Ayurveda is those who are healthy, we have to think the process how to maintain their good health. If I am healthy, I should know what are the ways to stay healthy. And this science of Ayurveda is the science of life, way of living. Ayu is life, Veda is knowledge. So Ayurveda is also called as Shastra, which have been time tested. It's not that someone came and told us today. We have been knowing it since thousands of years, and it's something from nature. You are learning from nature, we have learned from nature, that have been documented. And the rules which Ayurveda first starts with is Dinacharya. Again go with the terminology, Dina is day and Achar is something the way you should follow. You should, whether should I wake up early in the morning, should I stay awake in the night, what type of food should I have, in which season what to have. This all are the good rules mentioned in the Ayurveda text, and that is something told so that you can stay healthy, right? We all know in a cold weather, we would not like to take an ice cream or cold foods. Why? Because we know if we take it, we'll fall ill. So that is something from time tested. Ayurveda text has said that if you take curd in the night, that won't be easy to digest. So there are many such rules. As we explore Ayurveda, we'll try to know more of it. As I said, Ayurveda also speaks about mana, mind, so is Achar Rasayan. Swastha Vritta are the rules to stay swastha or healthy. And Ayurveda, all the celebrations which we celebrate in our life, हम लोग के कोई भी फंक्शन हो, वो चाहे दिवाली हो या मकर संक्रांति हो, everything is correlated with health. Try to connect this link and you find it interesting. The gul laddu of Makar Sankranti, the ghee laddu of Diwali. Diwali is the time when the pitta or the fire element is the high, and that is why our ancient scientists and this have been in our rules to follow. And there are sanskars. We have 16 sanskars which have been followed, like the Mundan sanskar, the Namkaran, Annaprasan. Similarly, is an important Garbha sanskar. In Ayurvedic, doctor has such a big role to play. He tells about Garbha sanskar. Before planning pregnancy, the parents need to go with certain cleansing so that the good quality of sperm and ovum brings a good progeny. If you have a healthy progeny, we'll have a healthy nation. So Ayurveda science, those who say about Vajikaran and all this is something is short-sighted again. Swarnaprasan is another interesting thing. In this, we give the children from 0 plus, means after birth, till the age of 16 years, we give a medicine which has got Swarnabhasma, honey, ghee, and some other combinations which is given to boost up the child's immunity. And again, during the COVID time, we have found it out that this is a very excellent preparation and is helping the children. So it's preferably given on Pusya Nakshatra. So monthly we have one date which comes on every 28 days. This month we have it on 25th, coming Thursday. So that is the day when we Ayurvedic doctors have medical camps. So do check it out near Ayurvedic doctors near you or the Ayurvedic institution near you for Swarna Prasan. The second and important part of Ayurveda is Aturasya Vikara Prasmanam, those who are diseased. So an Ayurvedic doctor is not just meant for disease. Those who are healthy can also have a healthy discussion with Ayurvedic doctor how to maintain their health. And Aturasya is something Atur, that is diseased person, and the treatment, as we said, is of two types, Sodhan and Saman. Sodhan is purification and Saman is the medicines which is prescribed as a course, 15 days, 30 days, and the course is again as per stage and condition. And that is interesting. One disease for all condition is not same. Just like one size doesn't fit all. One size or one size of shoes will not fit all the person in this world. Similarly, Ayurveda is very personalized treatment. We don't have one medicine for fever. We have many medicines and which is being decided as per the condition, as per the stage of the person. Remember earlier we learned about the Prakriti, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Someone with Pitta Prakriti has got the fire or heat element or they have a tendency to sweating. Now you cannot give a medicine which is something which is going to increase the sweat a lot because we have to balance the basic principle of Ayurveda. Just keep a balance. So something which is going to aggravate Pitta, in a Pitta person I will be using it in lesser quantity or I will preferably use it with say take it with Gulkan or take it with normal water or take it with Misri water. So this is something, a balance, the Anupana which an Ayurvedic doctor always says about. And Ayurveda treatment ends with Apunarbhava, something your disease should not return back. This is the focus. So before we come to the discussion, let me give some tips also, some tips which you can carry with you. The 6 tastes of food. These are the 6 tastes. The modern science still believes that we don't have 6 tastes, the astringent, the kasai taste. Now you tell me a anar, darim or the churna or the karas of Ayurveda, which you feel like tasteless, which taste would you consider? So Ayurveda have been a deeper science to tell about the 6 sciences, 6 tastes and where we've experienced this taste. And Ayurveda's important point is that we should not take incorrect food combinations, that is Viruddhahar. Today, most of the diseases are coming with the wrong combination of food. We are taking hot and cold combination food together. With studies, we have found some of the skin diseases are happening because of taking milk products with garlic or non-veg items. and they are aggravating the disease conditions. So the nature have been so good to say that honey is something you should not eat. Now there is a science, a logic behind why it's said. First, we should know what are the things being said in the Ayurveda, and that is what you have to explore of. This is a very big question we commonly get. What is the right quantity of water to drink? Is it 8 glasses a day? No. Modern science is making a discovery day by day. It's trying to find out. Even on date, to a kidney patient, they won't say you drink. They will say you drink calculated amount of water. ज़्यादा पानी मत पीजिएगा, पाँव में सूजन आ जाता है, किडनी में affect होगा. So, what is the answer as per Ayurveda? You have to drink as per thirst only. Balance. This is the principle which we work upon. What are the correct temperature for drinking water? Should I take a hot water? Should I take a normal room temperature? Again, if you are a Vata Prakriti person, prefer warm water, lukewarm water. And if you are a Pitta person, those who have got fire element high in it, if you take too much of hot things like spices and all this, or a hot water also, you will get the things aggravated. So a Pitta person needs to take with the normal room water temperature, right? So the presentation part, as promised to you, have been completed. Hope you liked it. Now we'll be having time for discussion with your queries. And any points to discuss or any questions if you have got, you can write it in the chat box. I will definitely try to answer in my discussion part. Okay, friends? Few of the questions which I have got, one of the very common question I have got is that, is Ayurveda a medical science? Yes, it's more than a medical science. My answer to it is, it's more than a medical science. And it's saying that if you don't understand a thing, the thing remains something vague. Next question was, is it scientifically proved? Something it is time tested. And today also its research are being done as a reproving it, and most of the principles are found to be true. Interestingly, if you see all the Nobel Prizes in medicine which have been recently won, just few years back, the Nobel Prize was won for fasting or autophagy, what we called. Someone from Japan, the Nobel scientist, won this award, and his discovery was that you should have a fast. Fasting or langhan, which is said in Ayurveda, have been there in our principles. So it's our duty to reprove it, and proving the truth is something which is always proved, isn't? So next was, what is the aim of Ayurveda and what is the aim of this class? So it was already said that it's the prevention of disease, promotion of health. We and I as a doctor of Jai Ayurveda wants all to be stay healthy, and those who are suffering from disease, I want to help you out with medicines and cure. So this have been a discussion for that. Now there was some questions like, should we take Ayurveda from some Baba or magic man or anybody? Should we take it as a self-prescription? I will say self-prescription is never good. If you take it as a self-prescription, you don't know whether you will get result or not. An Ayurvedic doctor who have been studying and experienced with it and have seen lots of patients will definitely have a better solution to it. And anything has got a particular dose and duration to take. It's commonly said that आयुर्वेद दवाई में कुछ साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है, इसको हम भी ले सकते हैं, कोई भी ले सकता है. But there is a stage of it. As I said, like Swarna Ausadi or Chyawanprash or this I use in arthritis patient. But an arthritis patient who has got indigestion or something which is resulting armor in his body, there is a swelling, so I cannot go it in the first stage. Here let me say, those joint pains having swelling, we cannot go with the oil massage also in the first stage. We have to go with the dry shake. So there are many things like that, and something which is good doesn't mean that you should take in amount. Like a salt, if you add in your food, it tastes good, but if you add too much of salt, then it's also not it's not something right. So similarly, Ayurveda medicines have got dose and why to take and why not to take. surely an expert with Ayurveda will help it out, right? These were few of the questions I got in my email and chat box. Any new questions or any extra questions are also welcome. We have with us Mr. Rohil Chopra. I think Dr. Rohil Chopra, if I am not wrong. Doctor, would you like to unmute?
Namaste, Doctor.
Ah,
Namaste, Dr.
namaste,
Dinesh.
namaste,
Yeah.
namaste.
Yes.
So, anything would you like to know or discuss?
Uh, this was actually quite new to me, as you had mentioned many of those terminologies.
Yes.
We keep hearing them everywhere, but we don't really know what they mean. So this is the first time that I have had a chance to uh, hear the meaning of those terms from a professional. And I have put a few questions in the chat box.
Okay, okay. Let me have a
Please
look.
pardon me if they sound biased because I have been exposed to modern pharmacology, although I don't completely believe in it. And even though I have studied modern pharmacology, for me it's never the first choice to use on my own body.
Right, right. I
So,
got your
but I'm
point.
a little biased technically, so please pardon me
Uh,
if my questions sound
Sir,
biased.
it's
Yeah,
not being biased. It's
yeah,
something which I would always like to say that every science has got its own principle,
hmm,
right? Now, English language has got its own grammar, and our
hmm,
Indian language, be it Hindi or any language, be it Kannada also, that has
hmm,
got its own grammar. I cannot learn English with the help of Hindi grammar, and vice versa. With the Hindi grammar, I cannot go with the in learning English language. Nowadays, it's common with us in the mobile or in the chat box. We write Hinglish, Hindi and English. Kaise ho? I write KESE. Kaise ho?
hmm,
HO. So that is actually not grammar. So that gets a something like mixopathy. It's happening. So the principle and the of Ayurveda, Indian science, is based on certain five Mahabhuts, which I said, the principles was there. And you find Ayurveda is more a qualitative science. It always looks for the quality, not the quantity. And you find the allopathy or the modern science, which is on quantitative science. Even if you go to us, if you come to a doctor or a laboratory, they will ask what is the your uric acid level, what is your BP, what is your pulse. It's more of quantity. We are looking more at the quantity. And when it comes to Ayurveda doctor, he will like to look at the quality. अच्छा खाने की भूख लग रही है कि नहीं, अच्छा पेट साफ होने के बाद आपको अच्छा लग रहा है कि नहीं, नींद होने के बाद फ्रेश है कि नहीं. There are people who are in the bed for 8 hours, still they wake up in the morning, they don't feel freshness. And this is where the principles of science differs. So when
hmm,
one of my first line in the starting was, when you want to know Ayurveda, you need to forget the other things. When
hmm,
you if I start learning Hindi with English, I'll always learn it in the way of English, not in the way of Hindi.
hmm,
So this is where, now here when it was said in your chat box, I can read, is there any substitute in Ayurveda for common modern drugs such as painkiller, antihistamines? Now here the big difference comes. In Ayurveda, we are not treating the symptoms. We are trying to treat the root cause. So we always think about the root cause. Why is the pain happening? I'll give a very simple example. If a small baby is crying, and what you can do is either you slap the baby or put something in the mouth, the small baby will stop crying, right? So it's just temporarily you are handling the situation. And when it comes to an Ayurveda point, it will try to find out, why is the baby crying. Is the baby hungry? Give it the food. Baby wants milk? Give the milk. The baby will stop crying. Baby wants to go to the father? Okay, get her to the father. She will stop crying. The baby has got, say, perhaps some ant has bite. Then you will check out that, oh, there are ants on her legs. You try to remove the ants, you apply ointment, and the fine. So here in Ayurveda, we are trying to find a root cause. What is the cause, and we are treating. We are not treating the symptoms actually. But yes, we do have some medicines which works like painkiller or antihistamines, but they are meant to work at the root level, and there is the difference which comes. So again, saying that we cannot work in the both the sciences in that way. We cannot think. You cannot learn Ayurveda thinking allopathy, and you cannot uh, understand allopathy also thinking from Ayurvedic point of view.
Actually, my concern behind this question is this. Now, I would say, unfortunately, from our childhoods, what how we have been conditioned is, अच्छा बुखार है, एक paracetamol खाओ और सो जाओ. It is just we have just got so conditioned in that way that even a lay person without thinking will just go to a pharmacy and say Crocin. Now, Crocin has become like distillery as the branding of Crocin.
Right, right, sir.
So my concern is that ideally I want to scrap modern medicines out of my life. So suppose if I am a little uncomfortable and I just want a good night's sleep, is there any over-the-counter medicine which I can pick up and feel better and go to sleep? Uh,
Yeah, doctor, I got your
from
point.
that point of view, yeah.
Yeah, I got your point. Basically, is that one thing I would like to ask: is all the fever bad? Just try to answer.
You recommended one book to me. I think I get to read it. Yeah, actually, it's not bad. It's meant for our welfare only, for our benefit
Yeah,
only.
that means some fever are good,
Mm,
right? So some fever
mm,
are good. So
mm,
it's not that always we need to take medicine for the fever.
mm,
Sometimes
mm,
staying hungry or not taking food itself is
mm,
something which is going to help in the fever also. It's not that
mm,
antibiotic we have. Yeah, we as an
mm,
Ayurvedic doctor do have a list of first prescription, first aid
mm,
medicines. We use
mm,
certain medicines like Sudarshan Ganvati is something we use as a first line of choice in our Ayurveda. We have
mm,
other medicines for pain also for relief. Even the medical cannabis is used in Ayurveda for pain relief.
mm,
So the principle again goes in something which is very different, right? This is what I mean to say. And again, as I said, the baby is crying. We Ayurveda try to find out why is it crying, and we won't try
mm,
to behave harshly just stopping crying. And today, even the new world is recognizing and finding out
mm,
that taking too much of allopathy medicines or the antipyretic paracetamol, which you say, is harmful to liver.
mm,
So somewhere is that we need to choose the middle path, the balance,
mm,
and that is what the principle of Ayurveda comes. कहीं ना कहीं दोनों में एक मिडिल पाथ लाना है. So not taking too much of strong medicines and going for certain choices. Now we
mm,
cannot in Ayurveda say one food or one medicine. It's something like, yeah, in South India the idli dosa is common. When you go to Punjab it's paratha. When you come to Bengal it's something different. When you go to Gujarat it's different. Again it's of weather. So the nature plays an important role. You cannot have the butter paratha in sitting in Bangalore or Kerala. Why? Because you won't be able to digest it, and you won't have the Gujarat's gathia and the ghee items sitting in Bengal because you won't be able to digest. The Kashmir people will always have dry fruits, but in our place, having too much of dry fruits again is something which won't suit. So here also the point comes: the person having fever, which environment it is. So we cannot go with one medicine that way, but we do recommend certain food items and certain medicines, simple medicines, which we use in first aid box, like antihistamine you asked. We have medicines which gives immediate relief in allergy or in situations when there are breakouts. Like if someone has got rashes, urticaria rashes, we use Satadhota Ghritam. Temporary relief we get. So there are list of medicines. Again, Ayurveda is something which is like tailor-like,
mm.
and the modern path is something like which is more of ready-made.
Ready-made one.
So a tailor will like to check your size of your hand, your chest, and everything to get your exact measurement. So there comes Ayurveda is more of
Okay.
not medicine centric.
Okay.
In
But you
modern
used a no,
in
you used a very nice term, first aid box. Maybe in future, if you could do a presentation on Ayurveda first aid,
Yeah, yeah,
it'll
definitely,
be
definitely.
very
I
interesting.
come up with new ideas. Some people also today, many people were interested to join, but because of time and they said that some other times, so some of them have requested me for the recordings. So
Okay.
this is one of my first way of starting interaction, and I'll
Mm.
definitely like to hear comments and things from you all. I think there is Dr. Suratna also joining us. She is from Kolkata itself. Hello, Dr. Suratna, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Any comments or anything you would like to add? Okay, you are on duty.
Uh, actually, I'm in hospital,
Right,
so
right, good.
like it's very like I like I always like you are some special person in my life as a senior. Like yeah, I have
At
remembered
present,
my.
we'll come to the topic.
Okay, okay.
I want
So
critics
like
also, so that I can continue it
no,
with more.
there wasn't any critics, but uh, like I am very much happy that you like someone have started like among us someone has started something that like it's true that if we don't know what you said, na, if we don't know the accurate science of any division, whether it is Ayurveda or
Hmm,
allopathy or any pathy, so we can't judge. We
right.
should not judge first. And secondly, there is always demerits and merits in every pathy,
Yeah, you
whether
have to
it's
take
our
good
science.
of it.
Yeah,
Exactly,
we
very
have
true.
to take good of it, like you have always said about that. And it's really nice, my I and my sister both were listening to
Okay,
you,
okay.
and
Thank you
like
so much. Thank you so much. Uh,
we both are very happy
right, right.
to
Thank you.
to
So
do
I
this.
would just
Yeah,
like to
thank
add
you for
one line.
taking the initiation.
Right, right. I would just like to add one line. You cannot cook a Chinese food in the line of Indian cooking, right?
Yes,
And we cannot cook the Italian food in Indian way. But we can go for a middle path to suit our taste. Similarly,
yes,
we need to know Ayurveda is something which goes with preventive care. You should not fall ill. That is something which is the role of an Ayurvedic doctor. And that is something where I think we need to work. And more discussions will come up. And thanks, Dr. Rohil, for joining us. Surely we'll like to stay in
Thank
touch.
Definitely. Thank you very much. It was actually this is the first time I'm seeing you.
Oh,
Yeah, we have spoken over the phone and exchanged email,
right, right, right.
but this is the first time I'm actually seeing you. So it's been a pleasant experience.
Sure,
Actually, I've
sure.
spoken to you and even having learned from you.
Okay, so stay fine. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Let all be healthy. Namaste. Thank you for joining.